In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NBA games happening on January 30th, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Atlanta Hawks versus Cleveland Cavaliers. Eastern Conference rivals are set to face off in an NBA matchup on Thursday night. The Atlanta Hawks, who currently hold a record of 22-25 straight up and 20-27 against the spread, were unable to secure a victory against the Houston Rockets on Tuesday night. Despite being plus 4.5 underdogs at home, they fell short with a final score of 100-96. On the other hand, the Cleveland Cavaliers, boasting an impressive 37-9 straight up and 30-16 against the spread record, dominated the Detroit Pistons on Monday night, winning 110-91 as minus 10.5 favorites on their home court. The Hawks continue to deal with significant absences, as Clint Capela and Bogdan Bogdanovic remain sidelined due to injuries. Meanwhile, the Cavaliers are still without Sam Merrill, but they are expected to welcome Darius Garland back into the lineup after he was rested in their previous game. These two teams last met in a home-and-home series at the end of November, with Atlanta securing victories in both games, both straight up and against the spread. However, the Hawks have been struggling significantly in recent weeks. They have lost 4 consecutive home games, with an average margin of defeat of 7.5 points per game. Notably, none of those opponents were as formidable as the Cavaliers, who have managed to average 119.5 points over their last 4 games despite losing 3 of them. Since the beginning of December, Cleveland has posted an 8-4 straight-up record on the road. Their recent losses have come against strong opponents, with none of those defeats exceeding a margin of 4 points. With a well-rested Darius Garland expected to rejoin the lineup, the Cavaliers' rotation will receive a significant boost. Atlanta's defensive struggles are unlikely to be enough to contain Cleveland's high-powered offense in this matchup. It's worth noting that Cleveland has gone 4-3 against the spread in their last 7 games against the Hawks. The Hawks are currently mired in a 6-game losing streak and hold a disappointing 20-27 against the spread record for the season. Compounding their issues, the team has been plagued by injuries, including the season-ending loss of Jalen Johnson. While Trae Young is expected to play, he has not been at his best due to a lingering hamstring issue. Overall, the Hawks are in a dire situation at the moment. On the other hand, the Cleveland Cavaliers are coming off the second game of a back-to-back, but their starters were able to conserve energy as they comfortably defeated the Miami Heat. The Cavaliers now hold a 31-16 against the spread record for the season, tying them with the Memphis Grizzlies as the second-best team in the NBA in terms of covering the spread. Given the Hawks' current form and injury woes, they are in no position to be trusted in this matchup. Although the Hawks put up a competitive performance in their narrow loss to the Rockets on Tuesday, their overall struggles in recent games are unlikely to improve against a Cavaliers team that easily handled the Heat in their last outing. While the point spread is substantial, the clear choice is to back the stronger team, so the Cleveland Cavaliers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. In the first 2 meetings between these teams earlier this season, the results were split regarding the total points scored, with each team going 1-1 against the over-under. Those games saw the teams combine for an average of 238.5 points per game. Both the Hawks and Cavaliers rank in the top half of the league in scoring and are among the top third in terms of possessions per game. Cleveland ranks 10th with 103.1 possessions per game, while Atlanta ranks 2nd with 107.2. Although the Hawks' offense has been underwhelming recently, they are due for a breakout performance after averaging just 102.5 points over their last 6 games. The Cavaliers, meanwhile, have scored at least 118 points in 5 of their last 7 games and are expected to carry the offensive load in this matchup. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Los Angeles Lakers versus Washington Wizards. It's an interconference showdown between 2 teams striving to make progress in their respective playoff races, set to take place in the nation's capital as the Los Angeles Lakers face off against the Washington Wizards on Thursday night. The Lakers are coming off a tough 118-104 road loss to the Philadelphia 76ers on Tuesday night, which was the second game of a back-to-back. Despite being favored by 4.5 points, they failed to secure a victory. Meanwhile, the Wizards were in action at home on Wednesday night, taking on the Toronto Raptors in the first half of their own back-to-back set. Prior to that, Washington suffered a lopsided 130-108 defeat on the road against the Dallas Mavericks on Monday night, failing to cover the spread as 13-point underdogs. Historically, the Lakers have dominated the series between these two teams, holding a 126-77 all-time advantage and having won the last 5 matchups. This includes a convincing 111-88 home victory in their first meeting of the season on January 21st. The Lakers will be shorthanded in this contest, as Anthony Davis, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Gabe Vincent are all listed on the injury report. On the other side, the Wizards continue to be without the services of Alex Sarr and Malcolm Brogdon. Despite these absences, the Lakers are looking to bounce back from their recent loss to the 76ers. Before that defeat, they had been playing some of their best basketball of the season, which gives them a significant edge in momentum compared to the struggling Wizards, who have been unable to find their footing and secure wins in recent games. Both teams will be playing their third game in 4 nights, which raises the possibility of fatigue playing a role in the outcome. However, the Lakers may have a slight advantage, as they had Wednesday off to rest, while the Wizards were busy battling the Raptors. Injuries remain a concern for both squads, with Davis ruled out and LeBron James listed as questionable for the Lakers. Meanwhile, the Wizards will be without Bagley III, Brogdon, and likely Sarr, while Washington has posted a respectable 4-3 record against Southeast Division teams. That success doesn't translate to their overall performance. The Wizards have struggled mightily against non-division opponents, with a dismal 2-37 record, highlighting their ongoing struggles. There is little reason to place confidence in the Wizards on either end of the court. Defensively, they have been unable to prevent opponents from dominating the offensive glass, and their perimeter defense ranks among the weakest in the league. Additionally, they are sending opponents to the free throw line at one of the highest rates in the NBA, an area where the Lakers have excelled. Los Angeles also ranks in the top 10 in turnover rate, which should allow them to exploit the Wizards' disorganized defense. Even without Davis and with James' status in question, the Lakers possess enough offensive firepower to overcome a Wizards team that continues to flounder. While the Lakers are undoubtedly less formidable without Davis in the lineup, they still have more than enough talent to outpace this struggling Wizards squad. So the Los Angeles Lakers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. As previously mentioned, the Wizards' defense has been unable to consistently stop opponents this season, and the Lakers are well positioned to capitalize on this weakness. On the other hand, the Lakers have seen a decline in their defensive metrics, particularly in opponent 2-point shooting percentage, where they rank in the bottom 10, and opponent paint scoring, where they sit in the bottom 3. Given these factors, this game is likely to feature plenty of scoring. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Minnesota Timberwolves versus Utah Jazz. Looking ahead to Thursday, basketball fans are in for another exciting slate of NBA action. The Minnesota Timberwolves come into this matchup with a record of 25-21, though this could change depending on the outcome of their Wednesday game. On the other hand, the Utah Jazz have struggled significantly this season, holding a disappointing record of 10-35. This game presents a stark contrast between two teams heading in very different directions. The Timberwolves continue to deal with the absence of key players Dante DiVincenzo and Naz Reid, which has been a challenge for their rotation. Meanwhile, the Jazz are closely monitoring the status of Walker Kessler, John Collins, and Johnny Juzang, all of whom are listed as questionable for this contest. Injuries have played a role for both teams, but Minnesota has managed to maintain a strong level of play despite their setbacks. The Timberwolves have been performing well this season, particularly in recent games, as they currently ride a 3-game winning streak against some formidable opponents. During this streak, they have been dominant, winning by an average margin of 13 points per game. Additionally, Minnesota has been equally effective on the road as they have been at home, showcasing their versatility. In contrast, the Jazz are in the midst of a disastrous stretch, having lost 7 consecutive games and 10 of their last 11 overall. With the second worst record in the league, Utah appears to be far from turning things around. Compounding their struggles, the Jazz have been notably worse at home compared to their performances on the road this season. Utah's struggles have been consistent throughout the season, particularly on the defensive end. The Jazz rank 29th in the league in adjusted defensive efficiency, allowing 119 points per 100 possessions, and sit at the very bottom in defensive turnover percentage at just 10.6%. On the flip side, the Timberwolves have been one of the better defensive teams in the NBA, ranking 5th in the league by allowing only 110.5 points per 100 possessions. This defensive disparity highlights one of the key factors that could influence the outcome of this game. The Jazz have also struggled against the spread recently, failing to cover in their last 3 games. Their difficulties extend to their head-to-head matchups with the Timberwolves, as they are 0-5 straight up and 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 meetings with Minnesota. This trend further underscores the challenges Utah faces in this particular matchup. The Timberwolves will be playing on the second night of a back-to-back, which could lead to a slower or less energetic performance from a team that has been inconsistent at times this season. However, Minnesota remains the superior team in terms of both talent and health, and they have won 5 consecutive games against the Jazz. Additionally, the Timberwolves have covered the spread in 4 of those 5 victories. Utah, meanwhile, continues to deal with a plethora of injuries, which has made it difficult for them to compete, especially as underdogs. They have failed to cover in their last 3 games as significant underdogs, and their injury woes show no signs of easing. For the Timberwolves, this game represents an opportunity to solidify their position and avoid the play-in tournament, making it a crucial matchup. Minnesota opens as clear favorites in this game, even though they are playing on the second night of a back-to-back. However, the point spread does not feel large enough given the circumstances. While the Jazz might be able to keep the game competitive at home if they start strong, the Timberwolves should ultimately have enough firepower to secure the victory, thanks to their strong defense and another standout performance from Anthony Edwards. The line is reasonable, but the Timberwolves' advantages make them the more reliable pick. So the Minnesota Timberwolves to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The Timberwolves prefer to play at a slower pace, but they heavily rely on three-point shooting to fuel their offense. Minnesota ranks 4th in the league in three-point rate at 45.9%, 3rd in three-point percentage at 38.2%, and 25th in pace with 97 possessions per 48 minutes. This style of play allows them to control the tempo and maximize their efficiency from beyond the arc. On the other hand, Utah plays at a slightly faster pace, ranking 14th in the league with 99 possessions per 48 minutes. They are also a solid three-point shooting team, ranking 8th in three-point rate at 44.7% and 17th in three-point percentage at 35.4%. However, the question remains whether they can generate enough offense against Minnesota's stout defense, especially if their questionable players are unable to suit up. Given that the Timberwolves are playing on the second night of a back-to-back, they are likely to slow the game down even further to conserve energy. This approach aligns with recent trends in their matchups against the Jazz, as the under has hit in 4 straight games between these two teams. With this in mind, betting on the under seems like a prudent choice. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.